Well, hello. It's me. Here we go. A lion cub of the Divine Mother, I was somehow thrown into life in the sheepfold of human frailties, living long with the sheep of fear and failure and disease. I bleated with weakness. I had forgotten my lion's roar, which frightened away all wicked pestering sorrows. O lion of realization, thou didst drag me away from the sheepfold and unto the waters of meditation. And thou didst say, open thine eyes and roar. But I kept my eyes tightly shut and bleated with fear. The roar of thy wisdom reverberated through me, and the hard shakings of spiritual urge made me open my eyes, and lo, there in the crystal pool of peace thou didst show me my face to be like thine. Now I know I am the lion of cosmic power. No more do I bleat in fear of failures and sufferings. Once again I roar with the vibrant power of the Almighty. Bounding in the force of experiences, I seize the little vexing worries, the timid fears, the wild hyenas of disbelief, and I devour them ruthlessly. O lion of immortality, roar through me thine all-conquering power of wisdom. Okay, that's Paramahansa Yogananda. That's Whispers from Eternity. He calls it Whispers from Eternity. They're prayer demands, he calls them. That's one of the ways we can pray, just what I just did right then and there. And that's key to what I'm doing here now, because that one's like was written especially for me, I felt. It's called Lion, help me, Lion of Winter, it's Lion of Wisdom. That's what it's called, Lion of Wisdom, Wisdom of Life. He says that God gave him all those prayer demands. That's what he calls it, whispers from eternity. So that was one of them. And like I say, that seems like it was written exactly for me, because I was bleeding with fear and hate and anger for the longest time. Okay, let's pick up where we left off last night on these two incidences, okay? Because I have some good thoughts on that, and we're going to try to keep this short for once, so that's good. Okay, the girl that I felt misunderstood with, I don't want to say, or I don't want to think that she had done anything wrong at all. She has the perfect right not to want to have her hand kissed in the way that I was going to do it. Okay, it's totally it's totally okay. I just felt it was a misunderstanding somehow, and I thought that we had enough there for that to make some kind of sense. It doesn't, like I say, I have no designs on this woman, okay? I don't need a girlfriend. I have a girlfriend, okay? She just doesn't know yet, but I do have a girlfriend. Getting her to know that, that's the problem. But, and I'm thinking, what if I was all gushy with love with this woman? You know what I mean? What if I had that going? And I tried that, and she bolted like that. That would have been a whole nother level of pain, probably. I don't know, but she was perfect within her right to do that. I don't mean to imply anything else, okay? But it was just I was just trying to inject a little bit of humanity into this inhuman world in a lot of ways, and a little bit of softness and sweetness into this sort of robotic, mechanical world we've got going on, and it didn't fly. And so, fine, okay, fine, okay. In that instance too, and with the kid, with Leo, and the parents, I had some great thoughts. First of all, when something like that happens, you just look at my last video if you don't know what I'm talking about. I'm basically saying, basically what happened was that I was trying to wait there and say hi to Leo as he came out the door, and his dad, got all upset that that's what I was trying to do. So, here's how I think about that. How I'm trying to correlate this with where we want to go here, where we all want to go here, from the head to the heart, and perceive and live life from there. And how do we mitigate these things as a heart-centered being, which I'm not yet. I'm not a heart-centered being yet, but we have to act like we are in certain ways in order to get there. We have to perceive and imagine us already there, really, and so we have to do the best we can being a heart-centered being, even though we don't really feel it completely, and we aren't really completely there yet. Because like I say, it's the difference between wanting to love yourself and actually becoming that love of yourself. That's the difference, okay? That's why we're headed to the heart, stuff like that, okay? Okay, the first thing to do in a situation like that, there's nothing wrong Don't think like there's anything wrong. There's nothing wrong. There's no sense in trying to make them wrong about that, okay? They are what they are. It's just a vibrational mismatch. It's a vibrational misunderstanding, and that's okay, okay? It's okay that there's that mismatch here. And don't label it as don't label it. Don't label it at all. It's just what it is. Acknowledge it and allow it. And I allow this. I allow this, and I allow them the space they're in. Basically, even though it's not a match for mine, and even though it isn't all it could be, it is what it is. Basically, after we had a little thing there, me and the husband on that, and the wife came out and kind of, after, in a minute or so, and then kind of shushed the husband, saying, "Shh, be quiet now, so you just knock it off." And then she looked up at me at that point, and almost had a pleading look in her eyes, because I had run into that with her also before, where Leo would run by, and I go, "Leo," I put her like, "Hey, Leo," like that. And she goes, "I don't want you to touch my kid. You can give him high fives too. You can give him a high five, but you can't, So we had that going, and she looked at me almost pleadingly, "Please understand, she could have said, 'We're nuts.'" And I'm telling you not to label it, but I go, "We're nuts, so please allow us our nutsiness." It could have been something like that, but she looked at me pleadingly to try to understand and help us out here. We don't want you to do certain things, and please, respect that. Now, at that point, normally the older me would have lobbied my position to her, in even an intelligent, sophisticated, elegant way, saying, "Look, the kid, I like the kid. He likes me. Why can't we? Blah blah blah. Put it out. My point of view." But my intuition said at that point, "Don't do that." It said acquiesce to the situation. Okay. Don't try to force it anymore. Allow them their space and allow them to be who they are. If I was to continue to kind of trying to press on her lobby her for my point of view, it would have the effect of driving them, both of them, more down into the darkness a little bit more. Do you understand that? I chose not to do that. What I think, and what we all have to do also, is to think, what is the next thing I can do to keep a vibration of this whole situation and everybody involved going up into a higher, higher vibration, however that works for them and for me too. How can I promote here? What can I do? What would my next action be to promote a greater sense of between us all, and try to promote understanding, even though it was a situation that isn't ideal? Okay. How can I be careful? Because that's when you're sensitive, and on the other side of mushrooms, like I've been telling you, you're very careful about the people around you. You're much more careful. You have this sort of tender-hearted quality about you, and you're naturally more careful of the people around you, and it's really wonderful. That's what I told you when I slid over on that bench to that girl, the lady. And I just wanted to be I was really, really careful about her. And I wanted to, this is a couple of videos back, I wanted to talk to her because I know she was hurting. And I wanted to kind of be careful with her and to kind of give her something that I had that maybe she could have used, basically. So the whole game becomes a one of collaboration, okay? That there's a collaborative moment there that dictated that I act, my next action, create a greater sense of openness and understanding, rather than more dense, more condensed, going that way. Shut it down, make it worse than it was. So I looked at that woman as she was almost like pleading with me. I looked at her and I said, "Ma'am, all right, okay, I won't try to say hi to Leo. Okay, I won't try to say hi to your kid. Okay. Basically, look, all right, fine, I've got your back here. I won't try to do that anymore because it vexed him a lot, you know, and basically you suspend your personal egoic agenda, which would have been a reaction to that situation at the injustice of it all, and you know, had me clamoring. Maybe 10 years ago I would have been slightly clamoring about, you know, you guys, what the hell, you know, that kind of a thing, and you take the egoic agenda out of it, okay, and you instead of that you focus on sort of the interpersonal ecology of the moment and what can be done here to make this move forward in a more expanded way as much as we can with people like this. And you look at the whole situation sort of holistically. So we're all on the same team, really. That's basically it. We're all on the same team. They're where they're at. I'm where I'm at. But we have to acknowledge the fact that there's no adversary here. Okay, there's no sense in being an adversary anymore, and they're not to them because of the way they are. Okay, there's no sense in doing that anymore as we become heart-centered beings on the way to the fifth dimension. Okay, so there are no adversaries in a certain way, and anytime we can take the adversary out of it, anytime we can take the personal egoic agenda out of it, it gives us room to know what to do next, and we stay connected to our intuition, because that's what told me to say that, lady, look, okay, lady, don't worry, I won't try to do it anymore. Okay, in that soft sort of a way, and further than that, then every time I run into them, just be pleasant, be nice. Don't look at them frowning. Don't just be open and as wonderful as I can be, as a way of sort of promoting a greater understanding and greater vibration about that situation. Take the personal out of it, and look at it holistically and collaboratively, okay? Rather than the way we normally would do something like that. And like I say, there's nothing wrong with that. I was in a situation where this friend of mine had friends. And he goes, come with me, Jeff. I went to a couple. For a year, I went to a couple Christmases and this and that, and so on and so forth. But it just didn't work out. You know what I mean? There wasn't anything there for me. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, normally 10, 20 years ago, I would have, whatever it was, but there just wasn't. It didn't work out, and there wasn't anything really there for me. So I just stopped going. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong going on there. There's no one's fault in a very real way. And and then the fact that it didn't work may be partly on me. You know what I mean? And I'm not really even tagging that on them. But the whole idea of there being nothing wrong, okay, there's nothing wrong with that. It was a situation we tried to make work, it didn't work, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong there, okay, and that's how we have to start thinking. That's how we think with the heart. That's what the heart would say. The mind, the ego mind says something else. The heart says what I'm trying to tell you is what the heart is saying, and try to intuitively get these situations, because that's what starts to come alive as you bring that heart center alive. Your intuition becomes greater and grander, and it's where we want to go. Okay, it's what we want to do and where we want to go. The idea of being intuitively guided is really quite wonderful. Once we start to establish our intuitive guidance, we don't need to be looking outside for personal behaviors. A while ago, some of the Galactics were saying, don't listen to mainstream media. That's basically what they said. It's a downer. It's geared to be a downer. Don't listen to it. And at first I thought, what do you mean don't listen to mainstream media? I have to kind of get an idea of what's going on. Okay, I'll do it less, but I'm going to listen to it a little bit because I want to know what's going on in the world and some of the things I'm interested in. But what I noticed was that every time I looked at that damn thing, mainstream media, my vibration went downward. Okay, because it just does, and so I stopped watching altogether for the most part. Every once in a while I'll flip by, sound off, see if there's a story there I'm kind of interested. But I've really put it down 90% of it. I get my news other ways. But so there is me then intuitively getting what they were saying is firsthand understanding why we don't want to watch mainstream media. Okay, so that's what we want. Really, we want people involved into their intuitive information, so they know themselves what. There's Leo right there. That's Leo right there. Sometimes Leo, he's catty-corner for me, and he's running around the apartment. He's like a terror. When I say around the apartment, I mean up the wall, over the ceiling, down the wall, down the floor, up the wall. Oh, that's what he sounds like he's doing. He's a terror of a kid. Hold on a second. So that's what we want. We want people to plug into their own intuitive reasoning and let that be the guide to them, rather than looking for outside how to do this, how to do that, how should I behave, what should I do, that sort of thing. And that's what we're after, and that's what the heart is going to provide. That's when we become heart-centered human beings. That's what that's going to provide. Okay, that's what we're looking forward to. Okay, now let's talk about the feeling of friendship. Like I say, I'm scant on this idea of friendship. So I want to promote myself and to get in touch more with friendship within me and friendship in others. Okay, now essentially, what is the feel? If you don't have that, the feeling of friendship stems from your personal heart space resonance. Energy is open, and it kind of moves around, and when you establish that kind of feeling of friendship, it plugs into somebody's other heart space that it sort of resonates with. Okay, now that's what produces that feeling, the feeling of friendship. I've tried to create friends by talking. It doesn't really work. Maybe it just doesn't work. I'm going to make friends with these group of people, or these couple of people I'm working with. By the time I'm done, I'm going to talk, and we're going to talk about good things, and we're going to be friendly by that point. No, didn't really work. Didn't really work because apparently my issue, I have a closed down heart area still. And so that energy isn't going out there and getting that connection. Okay, it's more than just mental communication. It's that heart center energy. A resonance that it's open, and it magnetizes to people that have a similar resonance, similar heart resonance, and that's what creates that feeling of friendship. Okay, so that's what I'm doing right now. That's what I have to do. Is I have to begin to open up that heart resonance, heart energy, heart area. And to have that resonance flow, and then be able to feel that sort of friendship, what we're all looking for, really. So that's key to creating more friends in your life. Is that heart center becoming magnified and opening, and that's how you establish the feeling, which is what we're looking for. I know I'm not the only one suffering from that. But the feeling of friendship, which is really in short supply, I think as we get older, everybody suffers from that. As they get older, it's just harder to create that sense of friendship that we knew when we were younger, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that's the way to do it. Is through the heart, through that heart energy, your own personal heart stamp, and goes out there, and it connects to the heart energy of others, and that's what produces that sort of feeling of friendship that you savor and you want to return to again and again, kind of a thing. Okay, well, I'll end it right there. Pretty good. I think I'm probably under 15 minutes. So that's very good analysis of how we begin to look at these situations in a heart-centered 5D way, as opposed to the old ego agenda 3D way. Okay, and paramount in that is there's nothing wrong There's nothing wrong. Even some of the grossest things you can think of, don't think of there anything being wrong. Just acknowledge it for what it is and allow it. Allow it. Basically, just allow it, and then determine what could my next action be to promote a higher vibration into the interpersonal ecology of the situation. You see, that's what we're looking for. All right, so let's set that right here. I hope that's pretty good. A little choppy. I'm a little bit. I just went swimming. I did some breathing, but I'm a little bit off right now. But I hope this is good enough. I'm going to look at it myself, and I'll let it go. Funny thought of the day. The devil and a saint are walking down this pathway. They're chatting and they're talking about their issues. And up above, there's a guy. And he leans down and picks up this beautiful, beautiful golden bright stone. And he looks at it and he puts it in his pocket. And the saint says to the devil, look, what happened just then? What did that guy do? And the devil says, oh, he just picked up truth. He just picked up a good portion of truth. And he put it in his pocket. And he goes, well, the saint goes, well, that's going to be bad for you, isn't it? And the devil goes, no, not really. I'm going to help him organize it. That's straight from Krishnamurti. I'm going to help him organize it, which is a great lesson. You can't look at the organized religion that we have going on in this earth that is no longer effective and no longer taking us where we want to go. Okay, that was an attempt to organize the words of Christ in a way, and other religions too. And look what a mess in a way it's become. It's a low vibrational mess, and we're going to have to shed that in favor of a new form of spirituality. And then I don't think we try to organize it. We got to stay from trying to organize it. We have a loose way of dealing with it, and I don't think we try to organize it. Okay, so that's the thought of the day. I am Jeff Africa. I'm a citizen of Earth, a loyal patriot of the United States of America, and I stand unafraid. That's a very important thing to say. Every channeler should be saying, at the end, I stand unafraid, to promote a lack of fear, no fear, because we're headed for some serious stuff here in a few years as we tear down this world and rebuild it again. So everybody, all channelers should say, I stand unafraid, and let that become a mantra for everybody. So I stand unafraid. And these four I've chosen: Divine Mother, Jeshua Ben Joseph, Jesus, Paramahansa Yogananda, and Mother Earth, as my co-creators in this new way of getting out of our heads, out of our minds, out of our egos, and into our hearts, and becoming a heart-centered human being first, and a psychological being second. Okay, that's what we're after. And that's what we will continue to do. I'm going to do it right in front of you, and then you're going to want to follow me. I'm going to show you how I do it, okay? And it's going to be an exciting journey. So there you go. I thank you all very, very much, and we'll see you soon. Bye.